and just channeling recovery. And I figured, why not just shoot the video anyway, even though my mind's telling me I'm not in the right place to talk about recovery and talk about addictions and talk about metaphysical recovery or spirituality or anything. And what better time to talk about metaphysical recovery? The best time is when you think you shouldn't, because you're doing the opposite of what your ego identity is telling you. Our egos and our identities are not our friends, not when it comes to alcoholism and drug addiction. Where do the thoughts come from? We're not the creator of the thoughts. Who is the creator of the thoughts? That's a really good question. Who is the creator of the thoughts? If it's not me, the creator of the thoughts, the identity, the story, the ego, then who is the creator of the thoughts? I am not the doer and haver of the thoughts. But I'm identified as the thoughts. So there's multiple eyes going on here. I mean, what is that? What is this place? This weird simulation place that we're in. Back to alcoholism and addiction. It's self-seeking, self-absorption. There's all these terms that's in that book, in the AA book. Well, my last video talked about how spiritual the AA book was. A life run on self-will with substances will never ever be able to stabilize. So, they could say medical marijuana treats addiction, and it does. But what are you actually doing? This is what somebody said to me after a meeting a few days ago. Psilocybin mushrooms and microdosing. And I talked to him about DMT. And I'm not opposed to plant medicines. I'm not opposed to substances that might free you from negative thought loops or subconscious loops that keep you stuck repeating the same negative behaviors, narcissistic behaviors, neurotic behaviors. I mean, we live on planet Neurosis. Welcome to planet Neurosis. He said to me about the substances, what do you think about DMT? It frees you from this world. It frees you. And psilocybin mushrooms will free you. Microdosing, does benefits for your life. It helps you break thought cycles and create new thought cycles and creativity and things like that. I'm not opposed to those. And maybe for a lot of people who have never went down a spiraling effect of alcoholism and drug addiction. Maybe for people whose life haven't spun out of control from alcohol, or who haven't lived in a freaking crack house, or lived under a bridge, lived in a car, or took somebody hostage and lived in their house and then used them for your selfish desire. Alcoholics and addicts, they have many stories. But this guy said to me about the substances, he said, yeah, you could smoke DMT, and you could eat mushrooms, and you can use marijuana. We're going to use marijuana as a reference too. But what are you actually doing? That's what he said. Like, okay, I take a big hit of DMT, I see a bunch of fractals, I experience an out-of-body thing, and I'm not my identity or whatever this experience happens. And the experience is real, I'm not denying that. But then you're back. You're back, and your reality is altered, and you might change things, change mechanisms in your subconscious mind. You're not actually doing anything, like doing any spiritual work, like journaling, mentoring. You're not carrying any message. I mean, you might be carrying the message of DMT or the message of other worlds. It might free you. I'm not opposed to these plant medicines. I'm not. Ayahuasca and the ancient shamans and all that. I'm not opposed to any of that. The issue arises is that when these people keep going back for more ayahuasca retreats and more DMT experiences and more psilocybin experiences. That seems to be an issue in my perception, because the doctors in these recovery institutions, you got to be careful, because they will put you on medications. It is a lobbyist thing. It is a Western culture thing. And I really prefer that they put people on psilocybin mushrooms out of rehab, or marijuana out of rehab, or DMT or ketamine treatments or whatever, with therapeutic institutionalized counseling and programs for therapy. You know, all of these medicines, plant medicines, natural medicines, not pharmaceuticals, are super beneficial with proper therapy. So anyway, back to this guy. He said, what are you actually doing? You're just smoking this stuff, and then you're coming back to this reality. And what are you doing in between your experiences with plant medicines? What are you doing in between? Are you journaling? Are you praying and meditating? Are you waking up? The first thing you're doing is meditating, praying. Are you sharing a message of hope and joy and compassion with other people? Are you being a better human? Are you going out of your way to help somebody you don't know? Are you going to your neighbor's house and knocking on the door and asking if they need anything? Are you doing anything? Are you being of service? Are you being productive to your community? Are you part of a church? Are you being part of a church community? Are you helping people in church? If you are, you know, I mean, service, love, unity, and service. That's the AA triangle: love, unity, service. It might not be love, but love is key, because love is God, you know. Anyway, this is the message of recovery and the message of spirituality. The 12 steps is a beautiful thing, because it's a gift to alcoholics and addicts. It's a gift to people who have codependencies or sexual issues or divorce issues or no. I mean, suffering brings us to spirituality. Suffering brings us to looking for relief, and we find relief in spirituality. We find relief in God. And the 12 steps is a specific sequence of steps to bring you there. Stopping isn't our problem, it's staying stopped. That's the message for today. I hope it helps somebody out there, because these videos are about you and recovery with whatever you're recovering from. We're all recovering from something in this life. And I hope this message helps. Thanks. Bye.